friends, it's Sharon from Mad Paper Crush here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing some planning for March in my junk journal planner. So this is the planner I have been working in for quite some time. I am getting closer to the end, but I'm not quite there yet. But this month, instead of just adding my plan right to the journal here, I wanted to use my new MadPlans Luminary Kit for my planning. So that's what I'm going to do. So this planner, I just released it. I will put a link down below if you'd like to see a full flip through of the entire kit. But right here are all the planner pages. And the way I designed the kit is so that you can fold them in half and have a standalone planner if you want to. Now, because I already have this planner, I'm going to do this a little bit different. So the first thing I want to do, because I do want to add all of these pages into my planner, but I don't want them to be folded. So that's not really going to work for me. So what I'm going to do first, since I have them all printed out, now if I didn't have them folded, obviously I would still do the same thing, but I'm just going to take a couple at a time here, and I'm going to cut them in half, and I'm going to use them in my planner like that. So let me see if I can, let's see, I think there's only 3 left here. I'll do all these together. And I'll kind of show you what I'm going to do to add them into my planner, because obviously my planner is already, bound and put together here. And so now I have to just make sure all my pages are in the right order. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not 6. There we go. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. There we go. Okay. So here is all of the pages of the planner, and I want to put them into here. Now, when I made this planner, these pages are not quite a half sheet. They're a little bit smaller. So I am going to have to kind of cut these down a little bit. And I think when I was looking at it, it looks like maybe 3/8 of an inch or so has to come off so that it doesn't stick out too much, which I kind of do want to do. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to go through each of these pages and figure out where I'm going to cut off the sides. Now, some of them, like for this one, I may cut down 2 of the sizes, or 2 of the sides, I should say. And if you're using, a book planner, you may not need to do this. Once again, I just need to do it because my planner itself, the pages are a little bit shorter, and these aren't gonna, they're gonna stick out a little bit too much if I don't do that. So let's see. Now, obviously I don't have this one bound yet, so I'm just measuring by the pages, and I think that's just about perfect. So I'm not sure, this should be about 5.5 inches. So let's kind of see how much I took off. This actually almost looks like about 1/2 inch off. So, so that's all I'm going to do for the first one. So for each of these pages, I'm just going to look at both sides and determine, okay, where can I take 1/2 inch off, so that I'm not taking off too much of the design, I guess I should say. So if I do like 1/4 inch on this side, actually maybe a little less than 1/4 inch, and I don't mind if I cut off the page numbers since I know how they're going to go in order. And now that I have everything cut, I am just going back in and rounding the corners, since the pages in my original journal are also rounded. I just want everything to match here. Okay, I have my pages all ready to go and in the order that I'm going to put them in. And before I bind them in, I want to do my main planning here. So I'm going to move this out of the way for a second so that we can do a little bit of planning. So the first thing I want to do, of course, is do my cover page here so I know what month I'm working with. And I'm going to put this down for March. And I'm just going to do some fun lettering here, and then maybe I will add the year. So my cover page is ready to go. And then the other thing that I really want to do is I want to get my monthly page ready to go so that when I start adding in any appointments and things like that, it'll be good to go. Now, I do have, the weeks are going to be a little bit different than what I'm going to do for the month. So for the month, I am going to start, let's see, because March that I'm doing right here actually has kind of 5 weeks that I have to work with. So what I might do is, since the 1st and the 2nd start on Friday and Saturday, I might use this as sort of 2 weeks in one, if that makes sense. So this is what I mean. So I'm going to do the 1st and the 2nd, just like that. And I am using kind of a green pen, so I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see it. But then I'm just going to put a little, and maybe I'll do this with a black pen so you can see that I'm working with more than one week in a box here. So I have 1 and 2 here, and then Sunday is the 3rd. So I'm going to put this kind of down here, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it looks like this pen might run out on me. I'm just going to see if it'll work through the month here. So, all right, so I'm kind of looking at my calendar over there so I don't get these wrong, because that would be my luck. Okay, so then Sunday we have the 10th, and I'm just gonna make sure these are all in here correct. And then just for good measure, I am going to put in the 1st week of April there, just in case I have anything to plan out. My next month, who knows, I may overlap these, you know, a little bit as well. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. So I have some room for the 1st and the 2nd, and then I have the rest of my weeks in here for March. So those pages are good. Now I need to do the same kind of thing for my weeks. And like I said, my monthly spread is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to start in a different area. So I want to start with my last week of February here. Since I have 5 weeks to work with, that will work out nice for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with, let me go back in my calendar so I know what I'm doing here. This is going to actually be the 26th. And I'm just going to add a little February in that box there, so I know that I'm starting with the 26th. But this is also a Monday, so I'm not sure if I want to put these in here. I'm not going to put February on all of them, so maybe I'll just do that. Just put a little M behind there. I'm kind of winging this here. So this is the 27th, 28th, 29. Ooh, February ends on the 29th. Oops. Why do I have that wrong? Thursday. Oh, no, I don't. Friday is, that's right. So Friday is March 1st. So I'm going to put March up there so I know that that's March 1st. And then my weekend is the 2nd and the 3rd. So now if I want to put the days in, I can just put like little marks here so I know what my days are. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know, depending on how you feel about things, you don't necessarily have to do that. All right, so that's my 1st week. So that takes me from the last week of February into my 1st week of March. And so now I'm going to move on and do the rest of my weeks throughout here so I have them. So I'm going to be starting with Monday the 4th here. And for this one, I may do the letters first. So if I do Monday, this will be the 4th. Now I'm just going to finish up the rest of the weeks doing the same exact thing. Sometimes my where I put my days will vary, and I think on one of them I didn't even put the days. So I'm pretty used to starting on a Monday. I figure I can go back in there and add the days in if I need to. And then for the last week, I just decided to put sort of a different date format. I did the month / the day. Okay, now that I have all my pages pretty much set and ready to go, I am going to bind them into my already made junk journal planner. So I have a cinch machine, and I used the cinch machine to actually put this together. So I went ahead and just punched these so that they're ready to go in. But if you have a binder like this that you want to add pages to, just a little tip, you can mark where the holes need to be on your page, and then just use a regular hole punch to, you know, punch those holes in there. Obviously, it'll take a little bit longer than having a machine that does it for you, but you will still be able to add things into your binder. So now I'm not going to take anything apart. I'm going to add these in by just sort of faking it. So let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a couple pieces at a time. So let's see. I think I can probably safely cut 4 at a time. I'm going to line up my holes so that they're nice and, you know, lined up here. And then I'm just going to take scissors and I'm going to snip right in the middle or close to it into these holes. And what this will allow us to do is take our pages, and now these are the ones that are cut, so those are the ones I'm going to do first. You can just put them around your binding and very carefully press them down in. And so I'm going to do that for each of these. Make sure I have 1 page at a time. And then, believe it or not, they'll stay in. Now I'm going to try and see if I can do 2 of these at a time without, you want to be careful that you don't bend these too much, because obviously the more those little flaps are bent, the easier they might come out. But these are going to be really relatively secure in here. And you could go in and, you know, maybe try to add some tape or, you know, something to keep them in, but I'm not even going to worry about that. This is going to do just fine for me, and I will be able to turn my pages, which is what I wanted to be able to do here. So for the rest of these pages, let's see if I can cut all these at the same time, but I'm just going to do the very same thing you just saw me do, and then I'm going to bind them all into my binder. Okay, now my month is all ready to go right inside of my current planner. I love this, that it's all set up for me and ready to go. And I could just leave it like this if I wanted to, but why do that? This is the fun part now. So I'm going to grab some of the other pieces from the kit, and we're going to do some additional things to this. The first thing that I thought would be fun to make is a bookmark. So I'm going to use one of the background pages that's included with the kit, and I'm using the vertical one since I want this bookmark to sort of be tall. And I'm going to, I just grabbed some packaging here, and I'm going to cut this down to about 3 inches wide, and I'm not even sure how tall. I know that it needs to be at least, I mean, it needs to cover all of my or I want it to cover all of my rings here, but it doesn't have to be that tall. Let me see here. This is a tall ruler. Let's see. Okay, so I have 8.5 here, and I think I want it to just, I don't want it to come down all the way, so it looks like maybe 7.5 inches might be good. And I'm going to add on 7.5 plus a half. We're going to do 8 inches tall. And I'll show you why, because the bookmark I want to kind of stick out of the top. So I'm going to grab I have different blades I use, and if I'm cutting cardboard, I just use my old blade so that I don't get it too dull too fast. Okay, so 2 is here. This is 3 inches. I want this to be about 3 inches wide. It doesn't have to be perfect. And actually I may, because I want to cut that end off a little bit too, I think. I need a straight edge to start with. And then this is going to be about 3 inches wide, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't even really need to, you know, have an exact amount for this, but 3 inches seems good wide. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to cut off a little bit so I have a straight edge to get started from, and hopefully I left enough to give myself 8, which I did. So I think that'll be pretty good. Okay, so that's the size of my bookmark. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it with this background paper. And you can decide, you know, what you want included on that. I was thinking about starting from the bottom here. So having this be one side and then part of this window being the second side. So I think that'll work. I think that'll work pretty good here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some glue to my bookmark. And I think I'm going to leave that there so I know what I'm doing here. And I may even, you know, sew around this. I'm not sure yet. To keep it together, I may even end up using some of the washi tape from the kit. That might be a more interesting thing to do. All right, so I'm just going to rub this all down a little to make sure I'm getting to the edges of things. And then I'm going to lay this down. Let's see if I can, actually it probably would be easier to do it this way. And I'm going to try and line it up as best I can with the side and the bottom. And then I'm going to just fold this over and glue that down as well. But before I do that, since this is kind of shiny, I always like to kind of scuff it up a little bit. And I just take my craft knife on shiny pieces of cardboard and just kind of scuff them up so that the glue will seep in there and hold a little bit better. Or at least that's what I think is happening when I do that. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of mark this a little bit so I know where to cut that off at pretty good. Actually, I probably need to do that at the top more than the bottom. Now I can put my old one away since I'm going to be cutting paper again. All right, I'm going to try to cut this first. And then if I want to maybe use that for something else, I can. And same with this. Now I could cut it a little long and fold it over maybe, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to cover it with washi tape. I think that makes more sense to kind of close up my end here. Okay, get these out of the way. Okay, so here is the start of it. And then usually what I'd like to do when I'm making bookmarks is I like to round the edges. So I'm going to get my tab board out because I think this one is a little bit more sturdy. And let's see. So if we want to round, I want to round the top corners. And actually I could do it. Actually, a tab might be fun. Let's see how that would work. Let's try it. I don't know if this one's going to work now that oh yeah, look at that. And then if you need to trim it up a little bit like I do here, just trim that up. But I want the top to be nice and thick so that, because it'll be sticking out of the top of the book, it's probably going to get hit by things, and I don't want it to get bendy, get crumpled down. All right, and then I'm just going to add some distress around everything first here, and then we will get this one edge taken care of in just a minute. So this is one of the pages from the kit, and I have a couple of lines up here of sort of digital washi tape so that when you print it out, I printed this whole page onto a sticker sheet so that I could use it as washi tape very easily. If you don't have sticker paper, you could certainly just use this, you know, as cutout paper that you add glue to and put it on something. So you don't have to use it as washi tape. And I think while I'm here, I might as well cut them all apart so that I have them ready to go if I want to use it for anything else. And the last one, let's see, it's probably easier to cut it this way. Maybe. Okay. And then I think I'm going to take this little decorative piece here, and I'm going to find that open edge. So here's my one that was folded, and here's the one that's open. And I think I'm just to protect it a little bit, I'm going to add in some washi tape. And I'm just basically going to measure this approximately where I want it. And then let's see if I can, how easy this is to get off of the backing. There we go. Okay. So we're going to try and put this down just about halfway. And that's the only thing with when you're using sticker paper, you kind of have to be exact as possible because it will stick and probably not come up for you. So you want to make sure you know where you'd like to put it before you stick it down. Okay, so I think that looks really good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the holes in it to match it so that this little part here sticks up out of the top. So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to try to grab a pencil and just make some marks. So I know now if I was using a hole punch, I could, you know, do the exact same thing that you would do before. But I'm just going to make some marks so I can do this with my cinch machine quick. All right, I have my holes punched and we're going to do the exact same thing. Now, because this is cardboard, I might need stronger scissors. Something that's, oof. You could probably also use a craft knife here. I'm gonna try, let's see. I don't know what's gonna work best. I just wanna be sure I don't cut, you know, too far and end up, you know, cutting the other side of this punch. Like that. All right, Now, this is the exact same thing as the papers. Now, because this is a little bit more sturdy, it's going to be a little bit harder to put into our planner. But the nice thing is you'll be able to take it out and move it around if you want to. So you just kind of have to do the same thing. You're going to be pushing a little bit harder here to kind of get things down under and in here. And these will be a little bit, these will loosen up as you use it. But this is nice because you can take it out. So if I want to put it someplace else, I can just very carefully, so depending on what week I'm at, you know, I may want to move my bookmark into a different, you know, place here. So actually I'm gonna go ahead and put it in my first week so it's ready to go here. And then I will move it as I get into different weeks. But I love the way a bookmark looks. And then as you can see, we have it sticking out the top so I can very easily find where I need to go. All right, bookmark is all done. And I like the way that looks in there, but I wanted to do a little bit more decorating. So I'm gonna go back to the first page. And since I have this on in my planner where there's kind of a blank page over here, I thought it would be fun to add something. So I took a piece of the collage page that's included with the kit and just cut out a little bit of it. I backed it with some book pages to give it a little bit of sturdiness. And I thought it would be fun to add a little pocket right here where I could add, you know, something, a tag or something like that. So I'm just using my little corner chomper thing here. And I'm just gonna chomp the 4 corners because I'm gonna make this the fastest pocket in the West. Well, all right, maybe not, but instead of sewing it or gluing it down, I'm actually just going to use some of the washi tape that was included in the kit to put this down. So I have this little bit left over from where we had put some on our bookmark. So I'm going to use this as the bottom part of the pocket. If I can, you know, this drill is very hard to do. Oh, there we go. And I'm just going to kind of put it where I want it here. And I'm going to put it about halfway on and halfway off. So pocket's already halfway ready to go here. And then I'm going to use this piece of washi tape for the side. So I think it takes about 2 of these little labels to work here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off because I really want the full label to show. Give myself just a little bit of leeway here. And let's see if that's going to work. Yeah, I think that'll work good. Those might even be a little too tall. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to definitely cut the sides off so that they're a little bit thinner. But then maybe what I'll do is I will just kind of, I could totally cut these out if I wanted to, like as a label itself. But I think I can do like, oops, 1, 2, like, you know, kind of just put them on here side by side. And my crimps aren't even really showing, but that's okay. I just really didn't want there to be plain corners on that piece of pocket paper that I put down. So let's see, I'm gonna put this right here, and the pocket covers a lot of the page, so I kind of have to just be careful where I'm putting these down so that I don't go over the end of the page, which you could do if you wanted to. If you wanted to wrap it around, that would certainly work as well. And I am, of course, having problems with this one. As soon as I say I'm having a problem, that's when it comes back to me and works pretty good, seems like. Okay, so that's fun. And oops, I got to do the same thing over here. So I'm just going to kind of cut these out. And I did forget to take the edges off because this side is going to be even tougher because it's so close to the rings there. But I still think it's going to be fun. You could just use regular tape here. You could use some other kind of washi tape if you wanted to. You know, obviously you don't have to use this. Whoops. What's happening there? Some of the sticky came off. All right. There we go. And one more here. And that was the best one yet. All right, and then I took the tag that was in the kit, and there's actually 2 tags in the kit, but what I did was I cut them out as one piece and just folded it over and glued them together to kind of give me one tag, because I thought it would be nice to have this as one side of the tag, and then I could use this for journaling or something like that. But, oh, and it doesn't look like these are wanting to stick for me. That's not gonna work if they don't stick. But that's my pocket, if I can make these stick. I wonder if my sticker paper that I printed on is kind of old. I wonder if that's my problem here. So I think it is. You know what I can do though? It's not going to be the fastest pocket in the West. It's going to be the slowest pocket in the West, since I can't get this to work. But what we'll do is we'll just glue this down just like we would kind of a normal pocket, since that wasn't working too well for me. But this will definitely hold it down. So now I'm just going to try to make sure I get these pretty close to the edge. And we'll hold them for just a second to let the glue stick. Okay, I think I have this glued down now, so that should be fine. And there's my pocket, and I love having that right there. I can add maybe some, you know, thoughts for the month, or, you know, have it be another to-do list or something like that as well. So I'm going to add a little bit more embellishment to that, but this is what I wanted to have. I wanted to have a pocket in here. And then I also went ahead and cut out the envelope and folded it up so that it was ready to go. And I did decide to put some quotes on these little cards that come with the kit as well. So I did 3 of them. There are 3 of these cards. So this one says, "There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in." Leonard Cohen said that. So I thought that was fun for thinking about how March is sort of the month that moves us from dark into light. And then this one says, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." Martin Luther King Jr. So I thought that one was a nice one. And then, because I like to laugh and I need to lighten things up sometimes, I thought this one was funny. "If you are in a spaceship that is traveling at the speed of light and you turn on the headlights, does anything happen?" Stephen Wright. So a little joke in there too. But I thought this would be fun to just include in there. And I did back these with part of the collage page as well, as you can see there. You know, sometimes I like to back them with tea-dyed paper and things like that. But since I was just doing some quotes, I thought it would be fun just to have them lined with more of the background paper included in the kit there. So I can put those in there, and then I can reference them when I want to. And then the other thing that I'm going to do, just as kind of a last thing, is I'm going to pick some of these labels to put on some of the different note places that I have inside my journal. So here is a notes page, and I think I'm going to use this one for my this month, because usually I have things that, you know, I have to get done on a monthly basis, and so having a little reminder of those things is good. So I'm gonna put that one there. I'll cut it out and we'll stick that one down there. And then let's see, what can we put over here? We could do a grateful. That might be fun. I also like the ideas one, but I think I'm gonna go with grateful because I have enjoyed keeping a gratitude list. I think they're always fun to go back and look at after you've done them. And so I'm gonna put another one in here. So we'll put that one there, and then let's see, I am gonna cut these off camera so you don't have to watch me do all that. but I just kind of wanted to show you what I was thinking here. And then I need one, I think I'm going to put one in for meals. Probably will need more than one of these, but I'm going to start with one. I usually try to plan maybe, I don't know, 3 meals in a week. I try not to plan the entire week because, you know, I just never seem to, you know, something always comes up and I don't have it, I can't do it, or, you know, I don't know. So 3 meals a week seems to be good. So this might do a couple of the weeks, but then I can put in another one if I want to. And then let's see, I have a this month in there. What else can I put in here? I think I'm going to put in an ideas. So I am working on kind of brainstorming what kind of tutorials and things like that you might want to see on my YouTube channel. So I'm going to use this for ideas. And if you have any ideas for me of things that you'd like to see, go ahead and drop them in the comments. I would love to know what kinds of things you would like to learn about junk journaling or about junk journal planning. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get all this stuff done, and then we'll come back and I'll do a quick flip through at the end. I also, I just wanted to mention too, I did cut out some of the fussy cut lanterns that I thought would be fun to put in different places throughout my planner here, and I cut out some of these labels as well that I can use to decorate my month here. So I'm going to do a little bit of that, and then I'll come back and we'll finish this up. All right, let's wrap up with all the little additions that I made. So for my tag, I added a little bit of some sari ribbon to the top there. I put one of the tags that I had fussy cut out on there. So this one is all ready to go for some lists or some writing on it. I added another tag here. And then for the washi tape, this washi tape, I decided it would be fun to punch some of these candles out. And so I just punched them out and I added them throughout just as little decorations. And I really like how they turned out there. And then I did the same thing with this washi tape with some of the pieces I had left over. I cut them out, the little labels, and just kind of put them in different places. I added in my titles for the different note pages that I wanted to keep things on. I have one for this month. I have one for Grateful. And then here are my weeks. And see, I did add some, I thought it would be nice on this page, adding a little bit of the yellow contrast since this one is mostly green. And then I have my meal planning here. I have another little circle cut out over here. And this is the last week. And then I have my ideas here. And then for the last page, which is a notes page, I decided to add a little tip in. So I already showed you my envelope where I have my my fun quotes for the month in here. I added one of the little washi tape lanterns there and just am holding that on with a little paper clip there. And then I added this little tip in. So this was another piece that's included in the kit. And once again, I backed it with part of the collage page, one of the background pages that's included in the kit. And I just added it to the end of this page so that I can have more writing and stuff here. So maybe this will be my other menu planning list if I need it or something like that. So if you're interested in tip-ins and what they are and how they work, I have a whole video on how to make them, and I will link that below if you would like to check that out. And that is our last page. No, and you can see here I did add a couple more of these, and I added one of the big fussy cut lanterns right there. So now my month is all set up and ready to go for March. I'm very excited to get started and get planning with this one. Thanks so much for watching, friends. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, you can do that by clicking on the subscribe button down below. And then if you want to get notifications, you can also click on the bell. Thanks so much again for watching, and I hope you had fun with some MadPlans this time, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.